Yeah, hello everyone. You're welcome to yet another video in our series on Python programming. Today we'll be talking about dictionary. Yeah, dictionary object confuses a lot of people when they are new to programming, and the way I simplify this for them is to take their mind back to the dictionary we use as human beings. What exactly does it mean? It's a collection of unique words and their meanings, and those words are unique because they are not repeated anywhere in the dictionary. When you see them from the very first letter, no, very first word in column A, where you see A something, then you have all the unique words in A, then followed by unique words starting with B down to Z. In that column, you don't have words being repeated. On the second side of the dictionary, where you have meanings, of course, words may be used repeatedly. That's not a key consideration here. The most important thing for us here is the unique set of words that we have on the left, which are usually bolded. Those are the words that we are interested in their meanings. They are not repeated in that column on the left hand side. So to us in programming environment, we call them the keys. Keys. They are the keys. And then the values to those keys are similar to the meanings of words in our dictionary. So in computing environment, regardless of any language that you are working in, when you hear dictionary object, they are talking about key value combination. You hear key value pairs, and they are always unique in every situation. The keys will be unique, the values may not be, but the combination of keys and values are meant to be unique. So in this demo, I'm going to show us how to create dictionary object, how to make use of dictionary object, and some use cases that you may have as programmers that will prompt you to think of using a dictionary object. So let's create a new Jupyter notebook within here. And then we go ahead and say we want a dictionary. So let's say footballers. Okay, footballers. If you come in here and you do this, footballers, print the type of footballers. This is going to give you, just use this interpreter for me. This is connecting to the kernel. When it's ready, it's going to give me the results. Yeah, it tells me this is a dictionary, but it's empty. It doesn't have anything in it. So this is a way to start, your work when you are working with dictionary. So this is an empty dictionary. But if you had started the dictionary with some content in them, it will look like this. I'll produce another one and say swimmers. Okay, so I put square brackets, so I put swimmers, and then I'll come around and say swimmer one is James. In fact, it's easier for me to do this. I'll change this variable name because usually swimmers hardly have numbers, even though if they do, it's not so popular. Basket ballers. Okay, so you can have 23. Let's go the new generation. James 30 is going to be the key here. You say Steph. Okay, then you do 7. It's a key here. Say Kevin. Okay, usually known as Durant. Okay, then you can go on and add as many items as you want. But the key message that I want to demonstrate here is the first element here is the key, and the value after the full colon is the value. Yeah. So 23 is the key, James is the value. 30 is the key, Steph is the value. 7 is the key, Durant is the value. And this is the dictionary object for basketballers. It's not going to be acceptable for me to come into this and say I want to have another object here and say Booker, for instance. This is not standard because this is supposed to be a unique object. So let's see what happens when we say basketballers. We would like to see the response. So you can see only 1 7 is displayed to us. It can't keep 2. It has to be 1. So that's why I said the keys are unique. You do not want this kind of a situation to happen to you. So I'll knock Devin Booker off the list and keep these top elite players in view for now. So you can have your list, sorry, your dictionary defined this way. If you want to predefine the elements that will go into it, as opposed to you having an empty one like footballers. If you go back to footballers just for a second, because we're not defining the initial values. If we want to start adding values into footballers, what would the approach look like? Just go in here and say footballers. They will also have jersey number, so I can say jersey number 1. That's going to be my key. I'm biased towards a particular football team, so I'll put check in there, and it says accepted. And if you want to verify that claim, you can display footballers, and you should see 1 as the key, check as the name, okay, or as the value. So we can repeat the same process for a few more, footballers, and then it will be fine. But you can't use the same key anymore. Otherwise, it will overwrite what was there. For instance, if you want to overwrite check, say, oh, you do not want Peter Check as your goalkeeper, and then you are saying Iker Casillas or Gigi Buffon. Yeah, this is possible. What it means is that you are updating the content or the value of that key 1 from check to Buffon. This is possible for you. But because we put Buffon, a legendary goalkeeper, probably the best of all time, so you can come and say number 2 will be Cafu. You can run this, so it's increasing. Oh, it should be Cafu with a capital C. Yeah, you can add number 3. This is going to be controversial, but ideally it should be Carlos, Roberto Carlos. So the dictionary is increasing, and then maybe we'll put 2 more players at the center of the fence. 5 will be Maldini. Everybody loves him, so it's always good to have him in the list. And then who is going to pair him at the center defense? There are many options. I'll go with Ramos. A lot of people will debate that, but he's one of the most successful defenders ever. Okay, so we have our dictionary now of footballers. We have produced a simple dictionary. It has 6 items, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, 5. That is a okay. You can add as many items as you want to it. So, what are the things that people can do in here? It's possible for us to come in and say, footballers, let's see all the keys that you have. It's going to show us all of these keys: 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. These are the unique numbers that we've assigned to those footballers. And the same way you have the keys, you can equally ask it to show you the values that it has. And this is where you see the names of those footballers, from Gigi Buffon to Sergio Ramos. But is this all there is to the use of dictionary? No. Now, imagine a situation where someone is asking you for the jersey number of Cafu or Roberto Carlos. What would you do? You say footballers, and then in here you will put Cafu, for instance. If I print this, it says, no, I don't know what this means. Why don't you go there and give me, it says there is an error, and the error is here. So let's go and say delete, and it still says there is an error. Dict is not callable. Yeah, I see where the error is here. It's telling me this is not a recognized key. So what I should have done here was to say 2. If I put 2 in here and I run this, it will give me Cafu as the name. So I was doing what is wrong. I shouldn't have passed the value into the dictionary. It should be the other way around. So this one is telling me if you want to know who wears jersey number 2, then it is Cafu. And a lot of people will be wondering, okay, so what's the business use of this in reality? I'll give you a very simple scenario. Let's say you have items that you sell in your store, and then they have unit prices. So I can say create a dictionary of items. I'll put maybe milk. That's, in this case, it sells for 23 naira. I have sugar. These are just hypothetical numbers. Don't challenge me on this. I put bread. It sells for 100 naira. Just these 3 items should suffice for the demo. Now, what I've done here is to just produce a dictionary of 3 items, and these 3 items have their prices indicated. I need you to pay attention to one thing here. In the previous example, I used my keys to be numbers and I used my value as text. This time around, I flipped it. My keys are text, my values are numeric. It's also possible. The most important thing is that the values of your keys must be unique. Just like I have milk, sugar, bread, I can repeat the unit prices for all of this. So if someone wants to buy bread, you are writing a program and you are prompting them for the items. Rather than even prompt them for the item, you can validate if the items they are buying are in, or if the item they are buying is in the list that you have in here. If it's in the list of items that you sell, then you can allow that transaction to go through. And then secondly, once you have a valid product, you do not need to prompt your users for the price of the items, because if they say they are buying milk, for instance, I can easily say, okay, you are buying milk. I'll come in here and put milk, and instantly I can get the price for milk this way, and then I can display the value of the price this manner, and I can see milk sells for 23 naira cedis or whichever currency you may be interested in, because that's what you have set in your dictionary here. And you can subsequently go and use that variable in the rest of your code. So you don't need to prompt user for the unit price, because that's already encoded in the dictionary object for the items that you sell. So it makes your code a lot neater and you look more sophisticated when people look at the code that you've written. So this is a very simple way in which you can play around with, your dictionary. And if you really don't want the items again, you can clear them. You can pop just like we did before. And of course, I showed us how we can, make changes to the value. So if I clear all these items that we sell now, and we choose to display everything again, it's going to be an empty dictionary because we have used this method to clear the content. So these are simple ways in which programmers use dictionary in Python. You can build more on this knowledge by reading more elsewhere. I hope you find the video very interesting. If you do, click on like, subscribe to the channel, give me your feedback. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which is going to be dealing with functions. Thanks a lot. I see you later.